you like to go by Emin or Eddie?
I'm okay either one.
Either
I
one?
get called by both.
Okay.
Eddie's fine.
Perfect. And you are a Democratic candidate for the Ellicott district, one of four.
Yes.
So, I've been starting these interviews off easy. How's the campaigning going? What's it been
I'm
like
really
going door to door?
energized. My team is energized. I think we've been doing really, really well, knocking on doors. As you can see, I don't know if you drive around my district, you're going to see my signs on everybody's lawn. I think people are ready for new energy and new ideas. Um, I'm really proud of how far we've gone with this campaign, considering that we have some other people that are being guided by the status. But we feel, I should say, I feel, I'm the front runner in this race, and they see that. They're tailing me, meaning instead of sticking to the policies or whatever agenda they had tried to create for their own campaign, it's like they're following me around. If I got signs somewhere, they're going to try to sneak in one. But I'm thankful at least they're not removing the signs, and it seems that way all across the board. Of course, some you'll always lose, but from history, I've experienced where people just take each other's signs down. I had guided my team not to do such a thing in life, let the people decide. But knocking on doors has been a great experience and great response.
Yeah, you've had some runs, obviously, at Congress. A little more, I won't say easier, a little more open. Do you feel like you have a better opportunity in an open Ellicott district than running against
It's
an incumbent?
everybody knows me in
Yeah.
this district. Not just I have the best name recognition out of all of them. They know what I've done. I've done a lot, especially on Jefferson Avenue, from Ferry all the way to South Division, over the years, and I'm talking from the late '90s till today. There's more than a dozen businesses there that I helped create. There's two churches in my district that I had built personally by helping those churches because they had some catastrophe like Mount Aaron on Genesee. The roof got flooded and the actual building caved in, and we all went to try to see what we can do. At the end of the turn, I said, "Here's my phone number. If I can help, let me know."
Mhm.
The city and some state representatives tried to help, but nothing happened. At the end of the day, I must say I came to the rescue because I feel blessed every time I see somebody going into one of these churches that are praying. I also recently built a church in Niagara Falls, a mosque, and I'm proud of that too. And to let the voters know, I'm looking to build a synagogue so I can say, hey.
You got all the gods covered, right? Yeah. Talk a little bit more about your background. What's your business background, and how did you get involved in politics?
I started working hard. I am in the construction industry. Started with tearing off roofs and rebuilding porches, breaking concrete, and I just grew and kept growing. I actually started in 1989. Um, every day on the job, I'm a hardworking man, and I'm looking to work hard in this arena. But in 1999 is when I first really started paying attention to our city. Because when I came here in '83, I had the impression that the city was moving forward because the train station was opening, Main Street train and all that, and the food court was created at the Main Place Mall. I was the first guy here when we opened up the Gino and Joe's pizzerias back in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was December. But after losing my mother, I realized that every day counts, that we don't know what our life has left. So, with passion and love, I really decided to make every day count. I started getting involved. I started getting working, taking community people from the forgotten community and trying to help them get work, teach them the trades. I ran for office in '99 was the first time. Somebody advised me that, you know what, Eddie, you're not going to win, they told me. With a name like yours, it's going to be very difficult. He said, when you people understand your name and talk about you in the kitchens, that's when you're going to be a real candidate. And right now, the name is on people's kitchens table. People do know who Eddie Egriu is. But to say that, I helped in 2006 and 2007. I was the third man on the team to create Push Buffalo. I was not its founder, but I helped it build itself because we went in there and took some of these dilapidated homes, and I took people from the community that were looking to get off the streets, and we created a training program, on-the-job training with pay. And that kicked off over the years. Since 3 years ago, I had stopped it because of my wife. I lost her to cancer, and it just took away a lot of family time and so on. But my wife made me promise that I don't give up on doing what I'm doing. Yes, I ran for Congress. I'm not familiar how well you are with the way the system works here in the Democratic Party and all that with newcomers. Every time somebody new comes in, they like to challenge them. Even if they got good petitions, they find little knickknacks to knock them off the ballot. A couple of times, I'm not going to cry about it, but I feel a little bit disturbed how our machine operates here. And I'm trying to break that barrier. This time, I was not only able to come up with the best signatures, but I was also able to show them that the same thing could be done to them. I don't know if you've done any research on our campaign or on the early days of the petition drive, but I had decided to challenge my opponents, especially the leading opponent that supposedly is chosen by the few. And yes, they did get a lot of signatures, but they also got a lot of fraudulent signatures. I filed a court case against them. We ended up with more than a dozen affidavits. There were dead people that had signed her signature. There was fraudulent pages, close to 280. I'm bringing this up because the same people right now are still supporting a fraudulent candidate. I hate to say that, but I must let this out to the community. But at the day of court, I decided not to go after her. And I'm talking about Leah Halton Pope, just for the record. I decided that I cannot be what the machine has done. I walked up to my lawyer that morning and I said, I want you to drop my lawsuit. He was confused about it. Eddie, you spent all this energy and money and time to bring it this far. And we have her, he told me. I said, yes, I know we have her, but I'm going to let the people decide. But I am here to tell you, yes, decide. But decide and make sure you're choosing a candidate that is for the people, not a candidate that's trying to take an office that has been appointed by others and fraudulently trying to take it. They never expected that from me. They didn't realize with all the beatings I took, I learned the game well, and I was able to retaliate with that. And I needed to show that our party needs to stop this nonsense, let the people make the selections, not just me. I'm talking across the board. 4 years ago, a lot of women tried to run for office. The party knocked the majority of them out. That's not democratic process. Mm-hmm. We need to change a few things around here, and I'm looking for that, to represent that.
So when you're going door to door, what are you hearing from people about the issues in this district?
Well, first they ask me what's wrong. What are you going to do? And I bring up Jefferson Avenue a lot.
Yep.
And I'm talking about in the district, like in the old Delaware district, Elmwood Avenue area and Delaware area and all that.
Yep.
I tell them I want to bring Jefferson back to life. I want to see Jefferson have life just like Elmwood Avenue does. And surprisingly, they're all like, yes, that should be done. It should have been done. I want to rebuild the East Side. I can't see those children living the way they live, and we've neglected them for years. And surprisingly, I would thought maybe some of those people might be against it, but they're all for it. I said, look, where we live here in this area, we have some minor issues. We don't like the buildings that are being built. We have snow plowing issues and safety issues and a lot of burglaries going on lately. We want that. Those are issues that will always be confronted and try to address and make it better. But I want to close 33. I want to bring Homestead back. They're talking about capping 9 blocks, 9 simple blocks for $1 billion. I think that's a tax dollar that's being thrown in the garbage to the privilege and to the status because, okay, we want to create jobs, but what jobs are being created? It's not about creating local jobs. It's about creating jobs for the construction industry, which I'm in, but majority of these people that are going to come in are not even from here that are going to rebuild it. Let's create better transportation. One of my opponents brought up an issue that I thought was a great idea is expand the train station and let's use Route 33 for one of the expansions and put it underground and cap the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a congestion of cars coming this way and leaving, and those cars that are coming this way are just coming in and out, and they're not even shopping locally. They're not buying gas locally. They're not benefiting us. We have to change the mentality. We have to come with general plans and redevelop that district, not just talking about it, actually planning it, and really planning it with the small business people in the community and its residents and listening to theirs. Have a public output, not a political output of what we're going to give you. Let's see what they want so that we can come together and create a beautiful east side. There's so much green land over there that we can turn that into something that we all be proud of.
It's a strange district. You've got a lot of different socioeconomic
And that's what I love about it.
areas.
Because
Do you find that people in downtown and the loft apartments or people in the Elmwood Village have the same concern about the east side as the people in the Fruit Belt and the east side parts of this district?
they do, because it's interesting that they do, because they feel like it's about time we give that community what they deserve. It's not a handout. We're not giving a handout to nobody. It's about economic development. It's about creating jobs. It's about opening up the stores, creating businesses that can bring more revenue, even to the government, not just to the locals.
Right.
Every time you open up a shop, it pays taxes on electric, it pays taxes on heat, it pays taxes on products it sells. I mean, it's just an economic smart idea and it's impressive how both communities literally want the same thing. Jefferson Avenue, they all want it. 33, one of my opponents claimed that she wrote this policy for the $1 billion being spent and then tried to walk away from it because they know it's a waste of tax dollars. $1 billion. I can do 33, close it. I can close 198 with the $1 billion. I could bring back Homestead Park, and I'll still have some change to fix Jefferson Avenue and Fillmore Avenue, or surrounding area, I should say.
Yeah, May 14th, how much does that hang over this election? And how do you address it when you speak to people, talk about your platforms?
I knew 7 of the 10 people personally. I've been active in that community forever. I work with a lot of small groups and activists. I felt like it happened in my front door. And I've been staying away from talking about it for political ambition.
Mm-hmm.
I want those families to understand that I love them. I really want them to know that I will do my part to address and share the sorrow with them, mourn with them. And this is a tragedy that we all condemn, but it's not something that we should utilize in the political arena. Jefferson Avenue is what they want too. They want to see something. They want more places to shop for food. They don't want just one entity. Some don't even like the idea of the top still being there because they feel it should be a memorial. And it's unfortunate that I agree. It should be something that should never be forgotten. but we can build a community around it to make sure it's never forgotten.
Right. Right. What am I missing? Anything else you want to add? I mean, you talked a little bit about the amount of candidates that are in this race. Is that an obstacle when you're running in a four-person primary?
Well, you're missing out of the four of us. You're missing what experience do we have? The political favored opponent claims she has experience because she works for the majority leader in the assembly, or is connected to some of the people outside and claims that that's what it takes to make things happen. I disagree. That's not what it takes. What it takes is a candidate that understands the community, that listens to the people instead of the government, that addresses and has the experience of not only working with them, has the experience of rebuilding a majority of the East Side over the years in areas that have been forgotten, that everybody else did not want to invest in. Other candidates, they have studied what they're going to talk about. That's fine. It's important to study, which I do a lot of reading. I'm not just a local candidate, but I understand now national and international issues, and I understand the immigration community better than all of them. And we have such diversity happening in the East Side right now. It's happening all over Buffalo, but especially there. We have a Bangladesh community that brought close to 20,000 voters, if not more, in the last 7-8 years. I've been working with them. I understand their causes, their needs, and the biggest issue is safety. Not only safety with crimes, safety sidewalks, safety streets, safety lights, and all of the above, because we have a community that is like a rebellion area. People are driving fast, running our children over, and I just don't find them qualified to do this job. We don't need somebody to learn or to be on the job training for something that, when you have a candidate that is trained, that understands policies, that understands how this city's been operating and what it's doing wrong and what needs to be done. So I am the candidate that understands all that. And I'm not saying that just to say it to the voters. My history proves it. Research me at egriu.com. Just Google my name, Egriu. You will see over the years all the things I have done, and you will see that I'm not telling you anything different from what I have done, and I'm not going to tell you anything different what I will do. There's only two things I can promise my community and other voters that I'm interested in listening to, or what councilman is going to represent, because at the end of the day, we're going to represent the whole city. I promise everybody that I will be loyal and honest, and the rest I will try my best to do what can be done to make our city better.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.